The Bears.
Because of the way they play the nickel corner here, and the nickel corner plays 88-85% of the snaps. He's got to be like part linebacker.
The Bears.
When you're in a scouting room, there's going to be differences of opinion.
The Bears.
Well, you're looking at traits. And number one, he tested very, very well.
The Bears.
Greg, why are teams wrong on quarterback evaluation so up?
Number one, it's a hard position to evaluate.
Former Bears scouting director Greg Gabriel talks football live every week on the Barroom Network. Also available on demand.
Look, I think it's a good time to be a Chicago Bears fan. There's a lot to be excited about. But let me tell you something. We are past the point of excuses. If things go sour, you have used up all of the patience that Chicago has to offer.
The following program is rated TV MALV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. What's going on, fellas? Another week, a bye week for our Chicago Bears. We get to watch football today and be worry-free about wins or losses. We can lick our wounds and come out of the bye, and we'll get into all that. But first and foremost, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. Tooch, how was your week, man? And what's going on? Any big wins this weekend that you put in your pocketbook?
I have not been betting on college football. It's just too unpredictable. I think I don't know. I can't get a handle on this season as far as like from a betting angles. I've been doing very well in NFL prop plays, so that's where I've been focusing my attention on. So today is my big day. Got some I should list some prop plays and stuff. But I mean, like every Bears fan, yeah, I'm a little lonely this weekend. No Bears football, Neil.
Man, I'm the absolute opposite of you in terms of all that betting stuff. I feel I got to do pretty damn well in college.
Yeah,
that's kind of been my baby for the entirety of my professional career. So it's
college basketball. I'm
completely the opposite, though. Like NFL, I feel like until we get to about maybe like week 6, I'm kind of in the dark about what's going on. But
that's kind of how I feel about college football. We're at week 6, and but this year I don't have that great a handle on it. You give me college basketball. I've already started doing a little research and stuff, so I love college basketball, But NFL prop plays right now is my focus. So I'll load some up while you're talking to Neil.
Yeah, it's pretty tough with college football because it feels like from one week to the next, like you said, Tooch, it's just hard to get a handle on it. Obviously, your dominant teams look dominant. Ohio State looks dominant. Oregon looks damn good. I thought Penn State looked good, but they got upset by UCLA, UCLA hadn't led for a single second of a single college football game prior to yesterday, and they go. I guess they were at home. Penn State goes out west to play UCLA, which that's a whole nother thing in itself with the realignment. These college athletes and teams having to make that travel plan. That's you're dealing with a different animal altogether.
Duke going to Berkeley. You had State Penn going down there to LA. You had somebody else going out west. Who else went out west?
Well, Washington was coming the other way. They had to go to Maryland.
Washington went the other way.
So
right.
Yeah. So you got
insane,
crazy travel schedules. Yeah. But
UCLA though, not that they haven't led all year, they haven't looked competitive all year against anybody. They would have been competitive against the front line of lawn chairs. All right, that is the way they showed up yesterday against State Penn. I mean, that is a
it was a wild game.
What are those types of things?
I mean, they fired their head coach, brought in a guy who had never called plays before like Wednesday, and all of a sudden, like he even said a couple times during the game, he was calling plays with his microphone still up because he hadn't practiced it enough. When you're not in that position, you don't practice those types of things, and you don't even think about it. But it was crazy day in college football. Like you said, Neil, before we got on, Mississippi State and Texas A&M were in a barn burner in the first half. Really trading blows back and forth, and then A&M just kind of took over in that second half. But like I said, your college team I know you root for Notre Dame, but you used to work for Mississippi State, correct? So is that the connection there?
That's the connection.
But I mean, I told you, and Matthew Fochese. Oh, okay. Yeah. At least you guys aren't Kentucky fans, because my Kentucky Wildcats are in a world of hurt, and they are in a big deficit to try and change all that. I foresee them moving on from Mark Stoops, but they'll probably wait till the end of the year, and hopefully they'll go get John Summerall, who played for Kentucky. And he's done good things at Troy and Tulane. I'd love to see him at Kentucky. Yeah, Air Force Navy was a hell of a game. Came down to 3 points. My Army Black Knights won yesterday against UAB. But it was a hell of a day. Before we move on to college ball, we should talk about our game last week. The Chicago Bears traveled to Las Vegas, and there were so many Bears fans there that the Raiders got booed coming onto their own home field, which kind of makes you happy to be a Bears fan. We travel well everywhere I've always gone to away games. There's always Bears fans all in the place. Caleb played good, not great, I would say. Still, my biggest concern is the running game and that defensive line. I mean, we still weren't able to stop
the running game on offense or the run defense or both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is yes, Tooch.
Yes. I agree. Totally agree.
Ashton Jency finally goes off. I actually had him in a fantasy league, and I was like, man, he hasn't done anything all year. I'm going to bench him this week, and he goes off for 6 fantasy points. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just start him the rest of the year. But, I mean, where do we start, fellas? Do we start with the good or the bad, or where do you want to lead us somewhere, Tooch?
Well, I think on a bye week, we'll start with the bad, because that leads you to the questions of what the Bears need to tune up or fix or whatever. And the Raiders game kind of exposed our run defense of 7.7 yards per carry, 240 yards given up to the Raiders on the ground. So that's one thing that sticks out to me is the Bears run defense. And over the past few years, it's slowly gone down. Last year we lost Andrew Billings, and the run defense was notably worse. This year it hasn't been any better with Big Bill in there. Right. You know, I mean, run defense. I'm sure Neil would probably tell you it's a lot about want to, you know, and will, you know, and just have to
have some dogs down there. You got to have some dogs.
But you got to have some dogs. So, and then, of course, the run game, the offensive line has been decent. I don't know if our running backs, maybe we look at Kyle Monangai a little more. If we get him to stop running backwards, maybe, you know, forwards. And the kid's got he's got some talent for a seventh round draft pick. He's got the good contact balance. May not be the fastest guy. We've had guys like that before. I remember players like Jordan Howard. You'd be like, okay, he doesn't have the long speed. We sure saw the back of his jersey a hell of a lot when he was playing for the Bears. You know, I know he'd get caught from behind and stuff, but or do the Bears make a move for somebody else? Some of these players might come available as teams decide to shed they're more expensive players, maybe an Alvin Kamara. I know he's older and stuff. Boy, I would give the run game some juice. He's also an excellent receiver. Maybe the Titans. Get the Titans' first-year head coach, Callahan. He's already on the hot seat. He's the odds-on favorite to lose his job before the end of the season.
As he should be. You talk about a team that's undisciplined and just doesn't look right, and it looks bad from a schematic standpoint. I mean, this is 2 years of Callahan now. He obviously he was able to throw my guy Will Levis under the bus, but Will helped him a lot by making idiot mistakes and putting the ball in harm's way. But now he's doing the same thing with Cam Ward, and I've liked pieces that they've drafted. So they were putting together. But it feels like really since trading away AJ Brown, they've kind of been falling off in Tennessee. But it's I don't know if they'll start trading pieces away. I don't know what the plan is out there. I like that you brought up Alvin Kamara, but I saw this D-line going into the offseason, man, and I was like that was our big question, was who's our left tackle and who is the defensive end opposite Montez Sweat. Now we will, I believe after the bye week, the defensive Booker, Austin Booker will be coming back from IR. So that might be something to look at to see, but he's more of a pass rusher than he is a run stuffer, I believe.
Right.
So you may still be in kind of the same situation. It's tough, Tooch, because you paid Sweat all that money. We've drafted guys in the trenches that Ryan Poles is kind of trying to count on, and it's just not working out between Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, who's no longer on the team. Of course, he goes out and pays Billings, and he pays Grady Jarrett, who didn't play last week. And Dom Robb just continues to keep a job here. He had a sack, I think, in week 1 or something, but other than that, he's kind of been really non-existent. And Neil, what do you do to fix it, man? I don't know.
Got to figure out how to get these players to play, man. And like I said, I think I said on here last week, we shouldn't be in a position to where we need to scheme our pass rushers to get sacks, especially when you have a guy paid as much as Montez Sweat is getting paid. That's kind of a concerning thing. That one right there. That guy needs to really start delivering for this pass rush. I mean, it is absurd. Like he had what did they have last year on him for sack production? 12? Is that what the stat books are reading? Is it 12 sacks? Combined between
did he get
both places?
Two years ago he had 12, I think, and last year we had 6.5. I think I'd have to go back and look, but
wasn't okay. Get my stuff backwards here. Anyways, I mean, they went ahead and paid him a bunch of money immediately based on recent production, and he wasn't necessarily the guy at Washington. They had. I mean, speaking of the place that had dogs, from left to right. That place had dogs from left to right, and he was able to go ahead and get situated because of the kind of talent that you had across that defensive front. And I think when you talk about how do you fix it, that's how you fix it. You just got to get dudes across the front that can go ahead and manhandle somebody in front of them, win a one-on-one battle.
Yeah.
Just be an absolute gorilla inside. And I think that's really
and those dudes don't typically get traded or get
those
hit
dudes
free
get paid.
agency. You know that
is
exactly.
So this season he's got 1 sack on the season. Last year had 5.5 for the Bears. Then with the Commanders and Bears in 2023 had 12.5 sacks. So that was he got the big contract coming off that 12. And I'm not sure he understandably was injured. We had Zach Pearson on Bare Their Souls, and he told a little story about going into the Bears locker room and just seeing this enormous wound on Montez Sweat's leg that had really affected him, bothered him, a big gash or cut or wound that affected of course Montez didn't mention it or say anything about it, but Pearson was like, damn, how the hell are you playing with that thing? So
that sounds like Montez, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, this season, 1 sack in 4 games for all that money. I kind of agree with you guys. Is we need to get a little more production. But
I agree with Booker. If Booker comes out and absolutely demolishes,
yeah,
you got to play the kid.
Yeah, he's definitely the number 1 on the list because he's paid like it. But it's a whole defensive line as a whole. I mean, we made a stop when we had to, I guess, in that game last week. We tackled Ashton. Shout out to Billings. We tackled Ashton Genty in the backfield, made him kick a longer field goal, and shout out to our long snapper who told Josh Blackwell, hey, he kind of turns the ball before he snaps it, so you know when to get a good take off and get good. But
Scott Daly,
every
right?
time I go back and look. Yeah, Scott Daly.
Scott Daly. Okay. It used to be Patrick Scales, right?
Forever it was. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Scott Daly is the guy that they got there now. But Blackwell to be able to take advantage of it. And it seemed like if he didn't get it, Javon Dexter was right there, and Sewell was. If you kind of when they freeze frame it and show when it got blocked, those 2 guys look like they had a shot to block that thing too. I just think it was kind of destined to happen. Which was, I mean, we've as Bears fans, we've always been on the other side of that, where we see we've seen this story before. Aaron Rodgers throws a Hail Mary, or last year Jaden Daniels hit him with the Hail Mary, or a last-second field goal. We're always, it seems like, on the other side of it. It felt damn good to preserve a win rather than grasping a loss out of the jaws of victory like we typically do. But yeah, I just had to give a shout out to Josh Blackwell while we were on it, because he did win NFC Special Teams Player of the Week this week for his play against the Raiders. And it was really nice. I went into the game worried about Brock Bowers, and I don't remember him having a significant. I know he had a few catches, but they really just killed us with the run game. Yeah, they really just killed us with the run game. It felt like, and we saw it against, or I feel like we saw it against the Cowboys as well. Yeah, they were running all over us, and then they chose to throw the ball when they got down from it.
Well, we got to get Dak Prescott his stats. That's what we got to do. We got to get Dak has to get his stats. Right. Paid him all that money.
He didn't get his stats he didn't get his stats that game. I don't know.
Yeah, Javonte Williams was punishing us, in the run game, and then they just went after that strip fumble by Tyreek Stevenson. They kind of got away from the run. They shouldn't have. I mean, they were having a good success, the Cowboys, but.
And shout out to Tyreek.
Yeah,
shout out to that guy.
And
for him coming out of the doldrums to absolutely start playing some real NFL football.
Yep, and
he started to last year, or was it 2 years ago, or whatever it was, his rookie year.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because with this coaching staff, that not only are they maximizing the talents of our players on the roster, you're seeing getting the best out of Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Byard, Tariq Stevenson, Dennis Allen and his staff at least, and then on the offensive side, Rome Odunze has blown up, top 5 NFL receiver. in the past, we wouldn't get these players developing or getting the most out of them with our coaching staffs, and now we're finally developing players too, which is great to see.
Yeah.
We've been signing or drafting guys, and they're just flaming out, and the coaching matters, and we have a fantastic coaching staff in place, from the assistants all the way to the top, Ben Johnson, and that to me is like the best part of this season is like seeing the coaching staff work, and their stuff working. The defense maybe, sure, we have stuff to tune up. The offense, we have stuff to tune up, but for the most part, we're maximizing the talent on the roster.
Yeah, I mean Edmonds and Stevenson, like you guys said, and then Kevin Byard with 2 picks in that game as well, and he said that he saw it on tape. That every time Jacoby Myers did this certain thing, he knew what the route was going to be, and he just jumped it twice. They did it twice. They hit it both times. That's just good. And that's leadership too. Not only the coaching is working, obviously, but Kevin Byard, this was an all-pro safety at Tennessee, to go back to the Tennessee Titans that we were talking. A guy who really, I think he was undrafted, or he was very low drafted out of a small school, if I remember correctly, just really getting it out of the mud, like they say, and he's worked his ass off to become the professional safety that he is. I want to harp on how well the defense looked, but at the same time, I'm worried. I'm worried. Was Dennis Allen's defense in New Orleans? Did it struggle with the run game as well, or did Cam Jordan's kind of a monster out there too. He's that defensive leader as well. But
Jordan
I don't feel like I remember him.
Again, a lot of times, man, it's about the dudes that you got, doing work on the inside. A lot of times, that's what it comes down to. And with Grady Jarrett out, and say what you want about Billings, he should be more of a run stopping guy, but I guess it also depends on your scheme as well.
What was the injury with Billings? I can't remember. Was that like a pectoral muscle?
Yeah, he tore his pec last year.
Last year, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just he looked a little slower coming back, after his injury. It never was great. Last year we played a bunch of his highlights. He was just, he was like amped. It was like running around making all these plays last year. This season he looks a little slower, to be honest. I love Big Bills. So I feel like he's a part of the family.
I love him too. I remember watching. Speaking of guys, I remember watching in high school. That kid coming out of, I forget exactly what high school was in Texas, but man, still even like well north of 3 bills. A dude that was just terrorizing high school kids, making plays sideline to sideline. It was absurd.
I know.
It was absurd. So, we had to offer him in Mississippi State, of course. If I was involved in it, we had to,
Yeah.
It's
he ended up staying home there in Waco and staying with Baylor, but he had he broke Mark Henry's lifting record in the state of Texas. World's strongest man, Mark Henry, and Andrew Billings had his. I believe it's been broken since, but he broke it originally.
He's been getting pressure.
It's I'm biased because of KB.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm super biased. But I love Billings, and I hope he one day retires a Bear. I don't want to see him.
I hope so too.
In any other jerseys. But Austin Booker will be coming back after the bye, and that's the only answers that I'm seeing are they believe is on this roster, I guess, because we haven't seen any moves, whether it's the offseason or preseason. We've talked about the running back all season, and I guess we should get into left tackle. Braxton Jones basically got benched during that game. Ozzie Trapillo comes in at right tackle, gives up two pressures, which, by the way, you want to talk about a guy who earns his money. Max freaking Crosby was all over the field. It was the right side, the left side, coming up the middle.
He was an absolute animal.
He was just it looked like a man amongst boys out there, just doing whatever he wanted to.
When he came out, was it Central Michigan or somewhere like that? Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, one of those. Eastern Michigan. I was doing mock drafts back when he came out, and I'm like, 7th round, I'm taking Max Crosby. I was want the Bears to take this guy because just the relentless, pursuit. He had some bend in his long arms and stuff, and we didn't grab him, but somebody got him in the late rounds. He was like a 7th round pick, I think, by the Raiders, or 5th round pick. I don't remember what he was. So somewhere
I think
at the
it was
end,
4th.
Was it? It was later than that.
But it was day 3.
Definitely a day 3 pick. And then there was talk, was it this offseason or last offseason that the Bears should try and acquire him when he was,
it was round 4.
Round 4, okay. Contract.
Fourth pick of the 4th round. 4th pick of day 3.
4th pick of day 3. And
another Texas kid from Colleyville.
Yep. And if the Bears, make a move for him, before he got his giant contract or whatever with the Raiders, but man, he showed you why he's the top player in the NFL. Man, it's just everywhere. One man wrecking crew. Batting the ball to himself, interception. His stats in this game were just constantly hurting. He ate up Theo, man. Theo went over to left tackle, did a pretty good job.
I like Theo left. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. And then for Ozzie to come in, no snaps at all, coming in and holding Max Crosby down a little bit. He was Theo softened him up for him though. No, I'm just kidding. Ozzie did a good job at right tackle, but I mean, when Darnell Wright comes back, what's that line going to shake out as? What the tackle?
I would love to see Darnell Wright shift down into right guard.
Right guard. Yep, that's what I said.
Let's do Benedict at left and Trapillo at right, and that way we get our 5 best offensive linemen on the field at once.
I agree, 100%.
Because I think Darnell Wright could, with his size and his mobility and his strength, could easily play right guard.
Yep.
And I mean, we all had questions about whether Darnell Wright was an NFL right tackle. I thought that coming out of Tennessee, that could have been the case, and he has held his weight in stones.
Yep,
for a pretty good portion of the past couple of years, ever since he came into this organization. Did a pretty solid job, but we need more mobility. We need more athleticism out there on that edge. And if Ozzie Trapillo can go ahead and provide that, let's go ahead and keep him out there, and then take that brute strength that Darnell Wright has. The athleticism that he would have for a right guard is exceptional.
Yeah.
And Jonah Jackson has not been showing that that's been a good signing so far. So let's go ahead and try Darnell right there and see if that works. And if that does, we could theoretically have the right combination of the 5 best in the best positions for them to play. I think Benedict did a great job at left tackle. I like him a lot at left tackle. I really do.
Yep.
Man, spell my name right. What are you doing?
Ah, damn it! I always do that. God damn it!
Let's go, Toocher. What are we?
I've been doing that for years.
It's right there on the screen, Tooch.
It's like, what are we?
I know. I'm doing it fast on the fly.
You didn't even have to spell the last name, brother.
I know, right? That's the whole thing, though, man. Like my first name is abnormal. My last name is an absolute. It's like half the alphabet. I mean, my middle name is the only thing I spell normally, which I don't know how the hell we. I don't know how the hell we figured that one out, but yeah, man. But yeah, like I was just piggybacking off of that. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, is that potentially the best? Is that potentially the best? Collection of 5, best combination of 5. Like, what are we thinking about that?
Yeah, I'm behind you 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, getting Darnell Wright's athleticism out in space at right guard. He would be, to me, an improvement over Jonah Jackson, like you said. Yes, he's played excellent at right tackle. But I think the idea here, if you want the Bears to improve, especially in their run game, imagine running behind that side, the right side, with Darnell Wright and Ozzie Trapillo. Just the massive size. Now, Ozzie still has to prove himself, but we did spend a 2nd-round pick on him. And like you said, Jonah Jackson has been, average, at best. But if we want to get our 5 best offensive linemen on the field, I think that's what we got to do. I don't know if they're going to make a move on Jonah Jackson, though, during the season, or Darnell Wright on the season. But maybe this move is something we see next year.
Would you call Jonah Jackson a dog?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Sometimes. Is that fair? Sometimes.
Darnell Wright?
Oh yeah, I like
Ozzie
Darnell
Trapillo?
quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I think that's.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you.
I think that's what. I think that's what it is right there.
Wow, that's an interesting question. Do we want to finish with 9 or 10, or finish lower? Is it a dubious? Would that be a dubious winning season? I don't know. I'm kind of torn because this season the Bears are learning how to win. You know, we've been losing so much. 14-game losing streak 2 years ago, and the 10-game losing streak last season. So I'm torn. I talked about on Bears Souls. Bears have to learn how to win. You know, we learned how to win a close game, like Aaron said. We stopped the Raiders at the end of the last game. And then, we had to get our asses pounded by the Lions to learn how to come out with fire and beat the Cowboys. You know, but Ben Johnson's, I feel he's really got the
Lions
mojo.
all of a sudden. Yeah, the Lions all of a sudden look like a team that doesn't miss their coordinators. They've kind of opened up their offense really since playing us. And they look like a team that's right up there with the Eagles, and I would say the Rams, but the Rams just lost to the Niners on Thursday. It's a divisional rival.
That's a fierce rival. Fierce rivalry. Yep.
As far as NFC teams, the Lions are right up there.
Yeah, people are going to say, we took Rome Odunze.
I lost some money that night.
We took Rome Odunze instead of Jared Verse and stuff, But I don't know. What do you think? Who would you rather have?
In terms of 9 or 10 wins?
But no, between those two players.
I wanted Jared.
Oh.
Jared Verse or Rome Odunze. That was the debate when we drafted those.
Oh.
They drafted Caleb and Rome. But Jared Verse would solve a lot of defensive line pressure. We just
I wanted Jared Verse going into that draft.
Yep.
I wanted Jared Verse.
I did too.
If Jared Verse had come out a year before, I wanted him. Rome is doing his thing, and it's working out. I mean, if you look at second-year wide receivers, he's right up there. You've got Marvin Harrison Jr., who all of a sudden can't catch. You've got
Brian Thomas Jr.
To think who else got drafted. Yeah, BTJ, all of a sudden he can't catch either. Yeah, Malik Neighbors is injured, but he looks great. But I wanted Jared Verse, so it's hard for me to go back and say in real time that I would rather have Rome. I wanted Jared Verse. So, like I said, I wanted him the year before, and he decided to go back to Florida State. So I was like, whatever we got to do to get this guy. And, of course, he goes to the Rams, just like Aaron Donald did. It feels like all over again. But, yeah, I don't it's hard to say with that, too, because we're talking offensive line, and the worst one in the league is down in Houston. We're already seeing the screenshots of them blocking each other like we saw last year for our Chicago Bears. So if you're the best version of a left tackle on the worst offensive line in the league, is that better than what we have? I know Colson Leveland hasn't played, and that's the argument. And someone's going to bring up Ty Warren because what he's been doing in Indianapolis, but they're actually got him involved. I know it sucks that Leveland's been hurt, but I think in the long run, what Leveland gives you at tight end is something that they couldn't get from Ty Warren, and they didn't see. Now, if you want to make the argument that they should have grabbed Ursery in the second round instead of trading down and grabbing Trapillo and
Luther Burden,
Shamar Turner, and Luther Burden. Yeah, was Luther to trade back? Either way, they traded down and picked up a bunch of other picks and chose not to draft Ursery. I'll listen to you on that argument, but to say him over Loveland, I just, if you were going to grab an offensive lineman at that point in the first round, maybe Simmons, but that's an injured offensive tackle. Bears fans would lose their mind if Poles drafted another injured offensive tackle. We hear it about Karan Amagaji all the time still. I don't know.
You can make arguments either way. If you traded that with number 10 pick back, and took like Simmons and then the second round took Mason Taylor, who looks like a decent player at the Jets, who's had a little splash last week. Loveland, I think the things Bears fans are upset with is that he was injured when we drafted him. and he's injured now. You know, it's the drafting an injured tight end or an injured offensive lineman. You know,
I think potentially what he could be arguing is, given that Ursary went ahead and sealed up the starting left tackle role, kind of makes him a first-round pick, kind of makes him a potential top 10 pick.
Yeah.
And he was there, obviously, because he didn't go until round 2. I think that could be the potential argument there. I mean, you know, correct me if I'm wrong.
Simmons was end of the first, I think, right?
I have to look it up.
Yeah,
I think it was 31 to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You could have.
I mean, if you come in as a rookie and seal up a starting tackle role in the NFL, then I mean you're basically a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
That's kind of where I fall on that. I think the previous question. What was the previous question that we had? Or no, the previous point on that question. Sorry, the previous point on that question: Loveland versus Tyler Warren. And you know, Tooch, you made the ultimate point on that one. Is that if you don't get him involved, it doesn't matter. I could argue. I could argue the Colts could have gone ahead and take Colson Loveland, figured out a way to go ahead and get him involved, and he would have been doing some amazing shit down there in Indianapolis too. It's just a matter of how you involve your personnel.
Yeah, they're really involved.
That's the only thing about
it. Well, if we're talking Warren versus Loveland, it's kind of finesse versus brute strength. You know, because Warren physically is bigger. He's like 6'5", 255, 260. You know,
I think it's like 244 going into the combine.
And Loveland is about 240, 245. You know, there are two different styles of game. You know, I think the argument was that, well, Tyler Warren's like Cole Kmet. I totally disagree. I mean, Warren is big, like bigger like Kmet, but he's a lot more athletic than Kmet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this guy's rumble. Tyler Warren reminds me of Jeremy Shockey. You remember the tight end, the giant? That dude was physical, man.
Awesome.
Yep. And you could have had that. You know, get Tyler Warren rumbling out there. I would have been fine with either tight end pick. I'm not basing my decision on the fact that we already have Cole Kmet. You know, and I like Cole Kmet. I just you saw that he made. He could have come down with 2 key catches in that last game, you know, that were catchable.
Yeah,
balls.
Cole had a rough game last week.
To tell you. He had a rough game last week. I know.
He did.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, there were always questions about his hands, you know, even coming out, you know, and Dan Aguirre on Brother Souls was like, this guy cannot catch the football. You know, it's like, you know, it's like he did not like Cole Kmet at all. Didn't like the pick, didn't like the hands. So, I mean, if we
need to get Dan on the show, give him a controversial topic, and just let him go on a massive rant. Whenever he starts going off on something, it's hilarious.
I miss him so much. Yeah, but yeah, the question, I mean, of drafting somebody. I'm not drafting a player based on who we already have on the roster. You know, that's not my philosophy. And if it's the Bears' philosophy, I think we're kind of
meaning like you're comparing them to who.
Yeah,
you're doing player comps based on who we already have. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean the decision. You know, Colson Loveland, he plays a different position than Cole Kmet. I don't care about that. You know, I want the best talent. You know, and
best talent based on need.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Colson Loveland isn't talented or isn't a better talent, because I love the separation. I love the route running ability of Loveland and the speed. But if we could trade back and get guys that are all equally as good, I'm all for that as well.
Plus Diggs, I mean, that is a legit point right there. We're not in a position to take a tight end in the top 10, bad week. Yeah, I mean,
great point.
When you don't have trench bullies, you want to build your team, and regardless, that's the way you build your team from the start. Anyways, you got to build from the trenches out. You got to build from the inside out, and you got to get quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher. Those are the principles of building a championship team. But if Ben Johnson, I understand the logic of it, of why they took him.
Yep.
Ben Johnson wanted a dude that resembled the kid from Iowa that he had in Detroit.
Yep, Sam Laporta.
He wanted a kid that resembled Sam Laporta, and Colson Loveland did that for him. And once Loveland gets healthy and gets absolutely ingrained into who and what they are as an offense, I think we could potentially see that. And that kid was an absolute weapon in Detroit for that organization. What's that?
It begs the question of whether or not Ben Johnson was influencing this last draft, and I would say
I think he needs to, because it's his team that he's coaching, and Ryan Poles has certainly shown that he doesn't know how to, build a team on his own. Or maybe that's also a Kevin Warren thing, because Kevin Warren likes to think that he's the assistant GM. So,
I want to say,
build a stadium, dude. Just build a stadium.
I think the Bears wanted Travion Henderson in the second round.
Yes.
When we got sniped there, you could see there were clips of the Bears draft room where when they got sniped, you could see the disappointment on Ben Johnson's face, because I think that was.
I think they got sniped by both the Patriots and the Browns. I think they liked both the Ohio State running backs. We'd have taken either one. Neither one of them fell to us, and then all of a sudden, then we trade back.
Yep. And then after that, it was there were guys they could have tried to get. Cam Scatabo. I mean, imagine the jerseys you could sell. I mean, he's not a bad player.
I loved him at Arizona State.
Oh my god, a fan favorite.
His head is a wrecking ball, dude.
He's so athletic too.
He's got about a 3-year career, Neil, but but you're gonna get a good 3 years out of him.
A chance to draft him as well too. We got down to the 7th round. All right, here's Ben, here's your running back. I like Monongai too. I think he's got some talent too. Someone made the comment that his 40 time was faster than David Montgomery, and that's fine too. I love Montgomery too. We could have kept Montgomery the whole time.
Could have kept Montgomery, but we don't know how to appreciate tailbacks in Chicago.
Here's a stat or a factoid that will burn your butter. Is that
Great Character University
after the Bears didn't sign David Montgomery, he signed for the Lions for about $8 million a year. We signed Byron Pringle for the same money, by the wide receiver Byron Pringle, but we couldn't give that money to Montgomery.
Brought in Swift. We brought in Swift for
but you can't pay a running back though. Don't you dare think about paying a Hey, go to hell with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the guy going to make a difference? Is he going to score touchdowns? Is he going to be electric? Is he going to be great for our offense? Yes. Yeah. You re-sign that guy, or you just sign him. Period.
Yeah.
Scatabo is
you re-sign that guy. You draft that guy. You appreciate that guy. That's what you do.
Scatabo is a good receiver out of the backfield too. Excellent hands. He does a lot of the things that Ben Johnson would want in the off. May not be the fastest guy, but you do. Like I said, you see the back of his jersey quite a bit.
You do.
There's
a lot of people chasing the number 44 these days.
Yeah, you see the kid have a nice little rest of season for the Giants. At least the Giants may not be going anywhere, but that kid's going to make some plays.
Relentless Mikey is driving me right along. So he's talking about the 2026 draft class with the left tackles and some running backs. Neil, I know you're excited about your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They finally figured out number 4 is pretty good at football. You should probably get him the ball, and now they're on a roll. Yesterday, I got a friend who's a big Notre Dame fan too, so he watches all the games, and I just kept daydreaming about Jeremiah Love being on this Chicago Bears football team.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming he's a first-round pick. Is our offensive line ready to take a first-round running back, or what do you think, Neil? I know you're a little biased because that's your squad, but
a little biased.
They take Jeremiah Love in the first round, do you think it would be a good fit and a good spot for him?
I may be a little biased, and let's always remember the real 12th man resides in South Bend. That's Touchdown Jesus. That's the real 12th man in this entire thing.
Touchdown Jesus.
And hey, guys, they have 2 dudes. They got 4, and then go ahead, the 2 in front of the 4. They got Price and Love, and that is a hell of a combination. And if it's me, you cheat your ass off and figure out a way to offer those guys contracts yesterday. Not really, but get both of them though. Figure out a way to get both of them. The offensive line part of it, as we were just talking about, if the situation that we were just discussing happens and it works, then all of a sudden we have 5 dudes across the offensive line you feel good about. Now, is Theo Benedette legitimately the left tackle of the future? Obviously, that remains to be seen. Having a really good go of it early in his career. Going to get probably his first start at left tackle next week.
Yeah,
I like the idea of it. I am rooting for that kid so hard. Don't necessarily like the the Canadian flag draped around America's mascot. I don't necessarily like that, but I think that. Yeah, I mean, I love Jeremiah Love. I think the thing about that is too. The thing about that is that Jeremiah Love is definitely more of an instinctive and explosive player than Swift.
Oh, yeah.
I just think back to last week how I kept on calling Swift Love. That was hilarious. They were the same number. I mean, whatever it may be, but there you could argue that Jeremiah Love in that number 4 could be more productive based on the fact that he is more instinctive, he is more athletic, he is more explosive, he is more dynamic, he is more useful out of the backfield in the passing game. Can't block for shit. Yeah. Can't block for shit. But that's why you have Kyle Monungai. You stick him in there on 3rd and long, pick up that rusher, he'll go ahead and nutsack his way up inside that chin strap and block somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Roschon Johnson, I mean, speaking of running backs, what the hell are we doing with Roschon Johnson?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know if you heard. Fined by the NFL after week 4, running back special teamer Roschon Johnson. He got fined for unnecessary roughness. A hit on Raheem Mostert, led with his helmet.
No way.
Went in to make a tackle, lowered his head to initiate contact on Raiders' return to Raheem Mostert. What is a guy with concussion problems doing lowering his head on a play? These guys, I don't know. One guy needs to learn how to tackle and not use his head. It's Roschon Johnson, man. Yeah, got some bad news, though, the kid. $6,790 fine.
Well, he's going to be out the door here soon.
That's his whole check, ain't it?
I don't know.
Jeez.
I mean, he's on a fourth round rookie deal. He can't be making that much money. I don't know. That's the running backs, and we talked about Alvin Kamara for a second earlier. He's on the trade block. I've seen rumors 4th, 5th round pick. I mean, if I can get it done, get it done. My biggest issue with Swift is the holes are there, and it's like he wants to dance around it. He doesn't hit the hole. And Roschon used to do that. Like you said, I don't know what Roschon's doing on this roster if you're not going to use him. But that's the one thing he could do is run straight forward and get you a yard or two.
Clearly
and all of a sudden they're not interested in that. He must have. I really don't know what he's done. Maybe they're just terrified. But, I mean, the options were there to replace Swift. And it goes back to Poles' draft strategy. We don't know what he's doing. I mean, Flex Diggs talked about it. You build, and Neil talked about it too. You build your team from the trenches out, and this is a guy who did the exact opposite. Started drafting secondary pieces, and then started drafting receivers and quarterback, and never went out. And Darnell Wright he grabbed in the 1st round, but other than that, they didn't work on the trenches. They didn't try to get that dog on the defensive end or defensive tackle. They traded for those pieces and hoped that they could get the best out of them. And maybe with this coaching staff, they can figure it out, but it's hard to fix rush defense and having a running back that can find the right, and you got a good running back coach. Eric Bieniemy is not going to take crap. A lot of people thought he should have been a head coaching candidate for all those years in Kansas City. I think Matt Nagy kind of put an end to that speculation, but it just doesn't make sense.
I bet it's Bieniemy and Johnson doing this. I bet it's a little bit of a headbutting situation going on there. I bet that's what it is. I bet Johnson had way too many opinions, and Bieniemy just told him to, shut the F up.
Well, if you're rooting against the Vikings today, a 7-7 score against the Browns in London. Dylan Gabriel,
I got the Browns plus 3.5.
Yep, 13 of 19 with a touchdown for Dylan Gabriel. Carson Wentz left out of the game in the locker. I don't even know who their backup is, man.
Oklahoma quarterbacks 2015 to 2023 starting today. Mayfield, Murray, Hurts, Gabriel, Rattler, Williams.
How about I was about to say that, Neil. Oklahoma's become quarterback U out there, but I think it really came from Lincoln Riley originally. But those guys it became a factory down there.
They sure did.
Looks like the Vikings will turn to Max Brosmer in the second half, rookie quarterback out of Minnesota. Got any? Any insight into Max Brosmer, Neil?
Who?
Minnesota Golden Gophers quarterback.
Let's see here. Max
playing on the Vikings. I have 6'2", 217, 24-year-old rookie.
I think he
was rated as an average backup or special teamer.
Carson Wentz.
Started at Minnesota, or started at New Hampshire, went to Minnesota. Yeah, he was at New Hampshire from 2019 to 2023. Transferred to Minnesota in 2024. Set the school record with 268 completions on 403 attempts. 66.5% completion, 2,828 yards, 18 touchdowns to 6 picks. Had 5 rushing touchdowns.
I got to take a look at the odds on this game.
Second team All-American in New Hampshire.
It's got to be Cleveland minus now in this game.
He started every year since he was a freshman.
Browns minus 2.5 at the half now. So the Browns are favored to win this one. That defense on Cleveland is good, man.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that allowed them to beat the Packers is that defense just freaking did their job. But I mean, Dylan Gabriel's not looking that bad out here. He's making some throws. I mean, they're not asking him to do too much. And I'm not watching it intently. You know, it's kind of off to the side here. I'm catching.
Was Oregon Dylan Gabriel?
Yep. Started in Central Florida.
Yeah, he went to.
That's what I say. He played summer.
Was Dylan Gabriel the one that had that catastrophic leg injury on the goal line set in in a bowl game or something?
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah,
I thought Dylan Gabriel was the one that shattered his leg, unless I'm mistaken.
I know he played in the. I think it was the Senior Bowl he played in last year, and he was the first one to wear something from all 3 different schools that he played. I think we're going to see a lot of that going forward with the transfer portal being the way it is. You know, have quarterbacks that played at several different schools. I mean, Tyler Shuck, you know, speaking of New Orleans, you know, he finished his career at Louisville. It was his first full healthy career, and he gets drafted in the second round before either one of these quarterbacks that Cleveland has.
That was Mackenzie Milton. That's who that was.
Virginia upset Louisville yesterday?
Yeah.
They sure did. I was so happy.
Hush.
What?
I was born in
You got teams that you... Okay. Don't tell nobody. No, I mean they'll. It just drives me. Louisville fans drive me nuts because you talk about a little brother syndrome, and they act like they're a lot better than they are. And anytime a Kentucky fan tries to say, "Well, I mean, we own the record against you, head to head," and they're like, "Well, when y'all haven't won a conference game, this and that," they're talking all this crap, and I'm like, "Dude, you play in the ACC. Let's be real. You don't have to play against the teams that we have to play, and we're at a recruiting disadvantage off the top. The best players in the state are there in Louisville, right there in your backyard. We got to come try and recruit them out of there." Oh, is Carson Wentz getting guarded off?
5'11", 205 on Dylan Gabriel, hometown of Mililani, Hawaii.
Yeah. It's Max Brosmer.
Yeah. So, the Browns quarterback room, they have Joe Flacco, of course. They also have like 4 other guys, don't they?
They let go of Kenny Pickett, I think, didn't they?
Okay, hold on. Let me.
So it should be Flacco, Gabriel, Sanders.
Right, Shedeur Sanders is injured right now, I think. So they only have Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders. Deshaun Watson is still on the roster. Are they still paying Deshaun Watson?
I'm not counting him as part of this roster.
No, I agree, but I mean, he's part of the salary cap, I think.
Yeah.
His contract's fully guaranteed. It's got to be on there. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, that dude's never playing for this team ever again. I mean, technically they do have 4 quarterbacks.
You think he'll play with anybody else, Neil?
Do I know?
You think he'll play with anybody else, or you think he's going to be a retiree?
Just Deshaun Watson.
Oof. That would be a tough sell for any GM to an ownership and fan base.
Yep.
I mean, ooh.
Oh, they're just going to kneel.
I don't know, man.
Deshaun Watson's going to do a Chad Powers come in with the disguise on some NFL roster.
Rashawn Dotson.
Yeah. Yeah, Rashawn Dotson.
Hey, in that draft, that's who I wanted. I wanted Watson as a Chicago.
Yeah, a lot
Bear.
of people did.
I guess we dodged that bullet. Even though Trubisky did.
I just wonder, and I talked about this on the Draft on Tap show before when we brought that up. I just wonder if the way that he fell, where was he taken? 13, I think.
Watson?
Yeah. I think it was 13.
Yeah, around there. 13, 12, 13.
A guy that everybody thought could potentially have been a top 5, top 3, top 2 pick, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of dropped, right?
That he had the knee
13.
injury questions, yeah.
I just wonder if some of this character stuff was sort of brought up a little bit down there at Clemson, and nobody knew about it. You know, because, I mean, being in the room with these NFL guys and having to tell stories about, you know, Montez Sweat and have to talk about the Jeffrey Simmons story and, you know, some other guys. But, I mean, those are the two that were, you know, the most publicized. And so, I mean, everybody knows that those exist. But I just wonder if Watson had a story and it had something to do with what is taking place right now.
Yeah. I mean, you get that a lot at these, like Clemson it's a college town. It's the biggest thing there. Georgia's like that a lot with Athens. I mean, I know they'll get compared to Atlanta, but it's a small college town where that's the whole basis of their, not only their entertainment, but their economy is based off this. I see it here in Lexington, you know, and so they get away with so much, and a lot of times they feel like the payback, like almost they're almost like they're entitled, you know, because they know they're the biggest show in town. They know that everyone's cheering for them on Saturdays, and all those things. And it just allows them to get away with a whole lot. And then they get to the league and they're in a whole different world. Now they're maybe small fish in a big pond, where they came from, it was the opposite. But yeah, I mean, that could have been that maybe there was some stuff that came up in interviews, Neil. I don't know. But from what I understand, the Bears didn't even interview him. They talked to Trubisky, and it was all secret, but they also talked to Mahomes. Hell, Mahomes' dad came on, I think it was 670 to Score, ESPN 1000, one of the two. And he said that Ryan Pace told him, "We're drafting your son." So when they traded up, the Mahomes family got excited. See, I can't go back and say that I was all on board with him.
Yeah, although I wanted him, I would have drafted him 2 overall, and 3
boom or
overall.
bust.
Yeah, because I saw with Mahomes, he had that escapability, the escapability from the pocket, and then just a phenomenal arm talent. You know, I know he came from the air raid and all that stuff, but he has that escapability in the pocket that reminded me of guys like Tarkenton and Favre, that curly Q, they zip out of it and they get out and they make plays on the run. Fran Tarkenton, Francis Xavier.
Tucci was in. It stands for those games. My mom was a Vikings fan. My dad was a Bears fan. My mom dressed me entirely in a Fran Tarkenton jersey, pants, helmet, everything. I'd run around in the backyard as a little kid. Jeez.
Like 7.
Sorry, guys.
7. That's Tuch's memories. Sound of Tuch's memories.
I thought it sounds the same. My bad.
My mom, I had a full Vikings helmet, everything. My mom was from Minneapolis. You know, my mom, my uncle, her brother were Vikings fans. They dressed me. It was number 10, Tarkenton on the back, and I just loved this game, man. How could you not? Yeah, the escapability, the eyes in the back of his head, and Favre used to do that, escapability stuff too. And then I saw the same kind of escapability from the pocket. Caleb has a lot of that too, so I love Caleb. And Caleb has really good, pocket maneuverability, escapability, and make those throws on the run.
Mm-hmm.
Making plays with this arm on the run. So yeah, I'm impressed with Caleb Williams. I'm glad that we stuck with him, and I mean, we pretty much had to. That was the number 1 overall pick. But he's I had some stats here. Let me see if I can pull these up for real quick. As far
Are you going to
as
talk about his numbers in the first?
First 20 games of his career. I've got it somewhere. I'll load it up.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that here.
I think I saw it earlier. Some of his numbers have never been, and maybe it'll be what you bring up, but his numbers have never been done by number 1 overall pick. Some of those things. Now, a lot of people had issue with the not throwing interceptions last year because they felt like he just wasn't taking chances. But yeah, the arm talent's there, man. We're seeing it this year. I think confidence has to do a lot with it. I mean, he talked about last year. It was really difficult for him to lose because he had never lost this much his entire life. I mean, you think about the 27-7 in his first 20. Yeah.
Yep.
Best first round pick through 20 games.
Such a bust, though, dude. Such a bust.
I mean,
don't forget to talk about his fingernails. You got to bring that up.
He can make some fantastic throws, Neil. Just the arm strength to make all the throws.
Hey, that final drive to win the game.
Yeah,
effectively. I mean, that kid looked damn good, leading them down the field, game-winning drive.
Yeah,
he has made some special throws this year so far, just dotting the ball, throwing darts.
Yeah,
I mean, he could paint his fingernails whatever the hell he wants to paint them if he wins us a Super Bowl. I do not give a shit.
Neither do I.
I do not care.
Right.
Neither do I.
I'll start painting my fingernails if he wins a Super Bowl.
I still think. I mean, I'm not going that far, but I still think that the flea flicker pass was the prettiest. I mean, the way it just popped. I mean, when they say, I always hear scouts say it, Neil, the way the ball pops off his hand, it looked like a flick of a wrist, and then you turn around and it's going 60 yards down the field to a wide open Luther Burden. Shout out to our coaching for having, we're seeing more and more these guys out there open, which is crazy to me. Last year
that was about 1975, 1976, bro. little dude running around in a Fran Tarkenton. I think I was probably 8, maybe 8 or 9. Yeah.
I mean, everybody had the Halloween costumes of our favorite teams, back in the day. Everybody had that whole thing going on.
Yeah,
the first jersey I remember having was a Corey Dillon Cincinnati Bengals jersey, the black one.
Wow, that was your first one.
And first one. And then, the one I wanted is Deion Sanders was my favorite player growing up. And finally, for 1 year for Christmas, I got the Deion Sanders, the navy blue Cowboys jersey. But I think that's the best looking Cowboys jersey, and they never seem to wear them. But yeah, I grew up a Bengals fan, and Deion was my favorite player. And now my loyalty lies with the Chicago Bears, and my closet is full, and it's too late to turn back now.
How did that switch happen? I think that's fascinating. How did it go from Cincinnati to Chicago?
Yeah, weren't you doing the Yankee shuffle?
No, it was a little before my time, Tooch. But I grew up where I live now is where the Bengals used to do their spring training here in Georgetown, Kentucky. So I was going to see Carson Palmer, Chad Ochocinco, and TJ Hushmanzada, and Rudy Johnson, RIP, just passed away this last week or two. And all these plus. So it was just the local team. And then when I met my wife, Mallory, her family is from Chicago. They're going off in the chat.
I love it.
But
keep it coming.
Her family's from Chicago.
I'm just happy they know who Fran Tarkenton is.
You got to pick a better team.
Go if you haven't watched. I mean, go back and watch NFL films. It's the highlights of Fran Tarkenton. That dude could sling it too, man. But it's so hard.
I always heard people saying that about Trubisky was he was Tarkenton, or they thought he could be.
So AC, you're in Georgetown?
I am, yes.
I'll be damned. Well, one of my favorite humans lives in Georgetown. Actually, two of my favorite humans live in Georgetown.
It's a Georgetown.
Awesome. Am I in the top two, or
it's a suburb of Cincinnati?
Like 3 of my favorite humans now live in Georgetown. So that's a wild thing. I have way too many connections to Georgetown, Kentucky.
I've never been to that area of the country. I've never been to Cincinnati.
No, Georgetown's right outside of Lexington. It's closer to Lexington than Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an hour south of Cincinnati, but I hop on the interstate and I'm in Lexington in 10 minutes. So,
okay.
Yeah. But
one of those humans I was talking about is actually
why
with
I'm
her
a
sister
Kentucky
right
fan.
now.
I became a Bears fan because my wife told me I needed to pick a. Oh yeah, I've got a friend going up to that game too, to the Lions game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's So she told me I had to pick a better team. So I was like, well, I played linebacker in high school, so I knew she was a Bears fan. So the Packers were off the table. So I decided, okay, we'll watch the Bears. You know, like I said, I played linebacker in high school. They've always had a history of linebacker in Chicago. And that was a team when it was kind of toward the end, but it was Charles Tillman, Urlacher, Briggs, Julius. It was before Julius Peppers, actually. But they had such a good team. And I fell in love with the Bears. And then I remember when the Bengals made the Super Bowl, I looked at my wife and I said, you told me I had to pick a better team. I said, my former team is going to the Super Bowl and my current team is in another rebuild. What's going on? But yeah, I like to tell people the Bears are my NFC team and the Bengals are my AFC team. But you think we're bad here. The Bengals are, and they're I thought we were cheap until I heard about their ownership. They made Boomer Esiason buy a block of hotel room for a cheaper price when he came in for their Hall of Fame or their Ring of Honor. And I was like, what? Yeah. Why would you not? He's the best player in your franchise's history. Could you imagine the Bears saying, okay, we're going to bring back, Buckus is dead. I guess Ditka, if they were going to bring back Ditka, could you imagine them saying, well, Mike, we want you to stay in Chicago, but we got you a discounted price on your hotel. Like, what are you talking about? Discounted price. Yeah, Samurai Mike. Yeah, I wore number 50, so I've always liked Mike Singletary as well. That was because that was my number in high school. So
it's so hard to throw a football. You know, I think fans lose sight of how difficult it is to throw the damn thing. You know, the spiral, the shape, the throw it with any velocity or force. You know, it really is a rare talent to spin it like some of these NFL quarterbacks can. I know Greg Gabriel talks about this all the time on his show. Can he throw a spiral? You know, although, you know, how do we evaluate quarterback talent? You know, not just the mental aspects of the game, which are super important, but the physical aspects as well. You know, the smarts and the physical talent, everything all come together. It's the hardest position in sports to evaluate. Yep, Richard Dent, man. So I was in high school when the Bears were. This was my senior year of high school. Man, my locker had all Bears guys. And my locker was like, the shuffling crew. 85, and I was like, I can't believe we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl, man. It was my last year of high school. It was so fantastic, man. The parties, high school keg parties, man, when the Bears were rolling. It was amazing. It was a great time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then went back with Lovey and Rex Grossman and crew, and Devin Hester returns that opening kickoff. You're like, here we go.
Oh man.
After that it was a little bit downhill after that, but Peyton Manning, it was pretty hard to beat. So
I was watching that game. That was the night before my interview for Northwestern. And I came up to Chicago. I was staying with my best friend at the time from South Bend. He was living in Oak Park, and he's a Colts fan. And so I thought, hey, as long as we get through this game without any bloodshed on the floor or broken furniture or whatever the case may be, I think we're going to be in great shape. But no, that was never the case. I just thought it was really interesting. But I mean, think about it is, boys, that was probably my first time in Chicago as an adult. without like taking a trip with the family, going to a Cubs game, staying out in the suburbs, during a vacation, whatever the case may be. And just driving through the city, being present in the city on that Super Bowl Sunday, you can just feel the energy, man. It was it was electric. It was absolutely electric, and I hope we get back. It sort of felt that way when we were making that run in Nagy's first year. Definitely felt that way here in Chicago.
Yep. Yeah, defense is great. 2000.
Did you guys hear? I don't know what podcasts other than ours you listen to, but Pardon My Take had Doug Peterson on. Yeah, and Doug Peterson said that his special teams coordinator came up to him and said, "Look, Cody Parkey has been nailing kicks at a 92% rate." He said, but when you call a timeout, his kick rate percentage drops by 50%. So, and Doug said, sure enough, they lined up. Remember, if you guys remember, they kicked it and nailed it, but the timeout was called, and then it had to go back and freaking double.
He's like, I'm going to go ahead and test this theory.
Right. Let's. What have I got to lose now? Call the timeout But I mean, we all had questions about Cody Parkey that whole year after he doink 4 of them in Detroit or against Detroit. I can't remember if that was home or away, but it was. That's what these coaches surround their guys with, to do all this research. Neil's been one of them where he's out scouting talent and he's saying, this is what he does well, this is what he does bad. They know everything about you. We talked earlier about Kevin Byard watching tape and knowing the route that Jacoby Myers was going to do off the, off watching the tape, and was able to jump it twice. So these guys are professionals, and they know a lot more about you than you might know about yourself, even sometimes.
No, there's no doubt. They go around. They'll sit down with the pro liaison. They'll talk to every coach they can talk to. They'll talk to all the assistant staff members, whether it be the strength guy, the nutrition guy, the speed trainer, anybody else around the building, janitors and stuff. They'll go to your former high school. If you're a high enough draft pick, they'll go to your former high school and talk to your high school coach, talk to your high school lunch lady. I mean, people kind of say that, as an aside, as a jest, sort of comment, but that's the reality of the whole thing. Because when you're spending multi-millions and millions of dollars for a first-round draft pick, guaranteed money, signing bonuses, all this type of thing, you better damn well know what you're getting, at least in terms of the human. At least in terms of that. At least in terms of the character background, there better be not any questions. No question marks.
Right.
And especially a place like Chicago where, historically, they will absolutely turn away from any kid that has even a remote question mark within his character background.
Yep.
This organization is one specifically that will have all those questions answered.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Simmons? It with, going back to the Jalen Carter, Darnell Wright draft. We saw it come up then. He had a car accident that killed someone in college, and they weren't comfortable with bringing him here, especially with the infrastructure we had in place. I think he wound up in the perfect place for him. He's surrounded by former Georgia Bulldogs and people that know how to handle him, and he's become a Pro Bowler. But I don't think he would be that here. I think, could you imagine Jalen Carter on a 10-game losing streak? That
locker room was way too combustible for Jalen Carter.
I don't think it would work out.
10-7 now, Cleveland over the Vikings.
They did last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is Buka talking about? Jeffrey Simmons over here. What are we?
Bears. The NFL trade deadline coming up November 4th. Who would you like to see the Bears trade for? Got a couple, Breece Hall and Jeffrey Simmons out here.
I love that Jeffrey Simmons here. I mean, in terms of phenomenal humans, I know he's one that had a story. But if you know all the details behind the story, you'll understand what happened the way that it did. And the way that ESPN just drugged that kid through the mud and ran the bus over him 3 times on draft day. Didn't talk about who he was as a person, didn't talk about him as a player, didn't talk about the fact that he was an absolute dog, that he was the leader of our defense when I was down there in Mississippi State. Immediately went to the story and had no details on the story, just talked about the story.
I don't remember the story. What was the story?
Absolute Bush League. It was so It was a family situation. I have to go back in my notes to get every single detail right. But basically, his mom or his sister was getting attacked, and he effectively just like physically handled the situation. Not that he beat the shit out of somebody to do it, but he physically handled the situation because he was protecting his family and where he's from, that's how you handle business. Noxubee County, Mississippi is how you handle business. It's a very, very small town, about the size of this computer screen that we're talking on right now. And no one wants to talk about how he was basically the patriarch of the community. No one wants to talk about how, he was like the Walter Payton Man of the Year in college football. No one wants to talk about all the great things that he did, that he was a team captain, that he was a consummate leader, that he was like a high character human, that, he ran little kids camps, that he did all these amazing things in Starkville and in his own community. Everyone wanted to bring up the fact that, he put his hands on a woman. No, the woman was beating the shit out of his family member. So yes, I think at that point you're allowed to lay your hands on somebody if they're beating the shit out of your family member and their life is in danger.
He is a 7-year NFL veteran, 33 and a half career sacks, 6 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries. He's 28 years old, 6'5", 305. What would it cost to get a Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans?
People in the chat are saying that
pick?
it would probably cost you a lot. I don't know if second round will even get it done. That's not only is he a great person on and off the field, but he is a leader on and off the field. Like you just said the stats, Tooch, and also, are they going to trade for another defensive? Yeah, are they going to trade for another defensive tackle when they just use free agent dollars, draft compensation to go get Shamar Turner, as well as still waiting to see? But I think, is there any chance Javon Dexter can play on the outside at defensive end? I mean, the guy's 6'6". You would think he'd be able to play some defensive end instead of sticking him on the inside. As much as I would love to have Jeffrey Simmons, I don't know if they will continue to put more stuff, compensation money wise and draft wise, into that position when they feel like they've already done so. Now, defensive end may be a spot where you look around. You also have to think of what we're trading away to get a certain player. I know people have talked about DJ Moore, but I just don't see it with DJ. Every time I see him on the sideline, he's with Caleb. I don't think there's any issue between those two. It's not like it's AJ Brown. AJ Brown's a great wide receiver in Philadelphia. Now he's catching 2 balls a game, and he's putting up Bible quotes on his Twitter and stuff. It doesn't look that way to me. And hell, DJ Moore is basically our RB2 at this point. So I don't know where I'd go. I know Relentless Mikey was in the chat saying he didn't want Alvin Kamara, and maybe I overrate him. I don't know. I don't. He just looks like a dog every time I see him out there.
Kamara's awesome, man. I know there's a lot of mileage.
Well,
on
he
the
had
tires
some stats.
Kamara, but yeah, fantastic player in my opinion. But I don't know how old he is. I'd have to get.
So Mikey said, I'm a hard no on Kamara. He's overhyped. Not 1,000-yard season and hasn't run for more than 6 touchdowns since 2000. I don't know whether that's true or false. I'm assuming if he took the time to write it out. Any what?
Didn't he have some injury issues there?
He's never had 1,000-yard in his career. But
Joe Mandel says Kamara is 30.
30 years old. Yep.
So you got to think of that. Yeah, he hit
5'10",
that. They got that cliff.
Yep, there's a cliff. What would it take to get Alvin Kamara?
I don't think that much. I don't think nearly as much as
round pick. Yeah,
not nearly as much as Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, and the other running back people are talking about is Breece Hall, who might cost a little bit more. Breece Hall's 25, I think.
The Kenneth Walker kid from Seattle that Ford just threw in there.
Kenneth Walker would be amazing. He ain't going nowhere though. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't get rid
speaking
of him.
would love to have him. But speaking of kids, that will be extremely expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, Kamara does have the receiving, though. I mean, the dude averages how many years?
Right.
4 or 5. He's a 9-year NFL veteran. He averages like 600 yards receiving, more than almost 700 yards receiving a year, 600-700 yards receiving. So I mean, if you factor in his 900 yards rushing and 600 yards receiving, he's putting up 1,500 yards of offense every year.
Yeah.
Not to mention a touchdown. Has 25 career receiving touchdowns and 61 career rushing touchdowns.
Joe Mandel's already put what I was about to say in the chat.
Braylon
Allen got hurt last week. Breece Hall's not going anywhere. They're going to hold on to him. And
speaking of Joe Mandel, got fantasy
Rashad
football
White
game
with Tampa just before him. We got 5 minutes, and then we'll switch over to the fantasy football goon, telling you how to set. Yeah, it's a big week. It's a bye-mageddon, and everybody's hurt.
Yep.
So definitely,
I am so lucky. Neil, you don't play fantasy football, or do you? Or
no, I don't.
No, I've been playing.
For it.
I have a guillotine fantasy league, which is like if you're the low scorer for the week, you are out. All your players go to the waiver wire. Your season's over. And I have B. John Robinson, who's on a bye this week. I pick up Kendrick Bourne. He goes nuts. 10 catches, like 132 yards to save my week. So, but yeah. He was just
speaking of teams that need to make trades, I think the Rams need some help in that secondary, man. They're getting ate up by Kendrick Bourne and whoever else decides to step on the field.
They can't have any of our guys. We were fanning the
We're all hurt. What are you talking about?
We're all hurt.
Trade them, they're hurt.
One last thing on Tyreek Stevenson. Since Jalen Johnson went down, he has stepped up his game. And thankfully,
he certainly has.
Like, Jalen's out. What are we going to do? Arguably our best player on the entire team. Maybe arguably the best defensive player. But with him going down, the Bears were able to string together 2 wins in a row here. So
yeah, I'm so proud of that kid.
He laid out for that interception was so awesome. Go ahead, Nick.
Yep.
No, I'm just saying I'm so proud of that kid. As much as we wanted to fire him into the sun, after the Washington game last year, man, it is so good to see him turn around and pick his career back up and start going up and to the right again. The way he played last week, man, that was got me jacked up. Just like his first couple games of his career. So, I mean, that's amazing stuff. I think, you can also look at that too. You can look at that turnaround as a product of the coaching that we brought in and the, what do you call it? Jeez, the word, the culture. Boom. Culture.
Yeah, the culture.
The cultural differences with this new organization, with this coaching staff, with the kind of humans that are trying to sculpt and mold these guys. We all know Dennis Allen's a little bullshit human.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Neil. I love the way he laid out for that interception. And yes, coaching and culture, not only Dennis Allen, but Al Harris is there running the secondary. This is a secondary that, like you said, Tooch, we saw Jalen go down. Kyler Gordon's yet to start his first game this season either. And we're just plug and play. I mean, I was praying for Nashawn Wright when they were putting him out there. Yeah.
Never let her rest, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, it was something for the guys to rally around. I love that,
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Good spot to end.
I mean, if that's it, we'll I'll let you guys hit shout outs and then we'll close it out. We got like 3 minutes. So start off, Tooch. If you got to head out, you can head out, and me and Neil will finish it up here.
All right. Shout out to my 2 co-hosts who really brought it today, man. Just like some fantastic points made. And the chat room had great questions and points. As usual, we got the best we got the best fans in the chat room, man. And we got a long bye week, a little extra longer because our game, we have to sit through 2 Sundays without Bears football because our game's on Monday night against the Commanders. We'll be looking at breaking down the Commanders next week. So shout out to everybody here at the bar room for all the hard work they do.
Appreciate you, too.
Yeah, go figure. Jaden Daniels all of a sudden coming back.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, Neil, and I'll finish this out.
Right on, man. Well, hey, shout out to you guys as well. Appreciate it, as always. Allow me to come back on and hang out with y'all whenever I possibly can. It's always a good time. It's always fun. Bullshitting around, talking about football, talking with everybody in this chat room that always bring it. You know, you talk about us bringing it. These guys in the chat room do a really good job as well. So we got to shout out these guys as well. Want to shout out my cousin Jordan and my new cousin Megan got that knot tied yesterday.
Nice.
Was not able to be there because my knee resembles a grapefruit right now, and I'm hobbling around on crutches around my apartment. Can't go outside, can't travel.
Jeez.
So that's a problem that I need to figure out. And then also, since we've talked about Georgetown, I want to go ahead and shout out my friend Therese, one of my 3 favorite humans in Georgetown, Kentucky. Her birthday is today, and so I want her to have a day full of fun and happiness and positive vibes and blessings from the Lord above, and just overall, good stuff going on there. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. And I don't know, you can't really see the entirety of my nameplate here. The Twitter handle, the X handle, is a different one this week because, hey, guess what? My account got hacked earlier this week. So now we're using Catapult Stop until I get that back. That's my other account that I use for my Catapult Sports job, director of Midwest Scouting for there. So we may be hacked, but we're staying jacked up, man. That's what we're doing. We're hacked and jacked. When I get that account back, I'll let you all know we can get back on that whole thing. I hope that is the case. Aldo was saying that Danikin also got his account hacked by the same person that hacked mine. And then one of the ESPN guys that called the Mississippi State game yesterday also got hacked, just got his back yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if it was by the same person. It seems like there's a big thing going on with trying to hack, media people and podcasters and stuff like that. So watch your backs, change your passwords, do that 2-factor authentication stuff.
Yeah, I got that.
The entirety of the whole thing.
Yeah, I lost my Facebook years ago that way. I had someone hack it. I had to make a 2-factor authentication, and then as soon as I did that, I was like, "Well, I'll just set this up for all my stuff." I'll just have that all set up because it's crazy, man. But glad to have you here with us, Neil. And
me too.
I shout out to both of y'all, obviously, for coming on. Tooch, kind of haven't been doom and gloom for 2 weeks. It's kind of been nice. And then Neil, coming on with his scouting eyes.
51-year Bears fan. I've seen it all.
That's right. You've seen the ups and the downs, Tooch. But I love having someone who knows what they're looking at when they're watching the tape, like you do, Neil. It's always invaluable to me as a huge football nerd and a football fan. But yeah, I mean, the chat brought it today. We talked draft prospects, some college ball. We talked about a little bit of the rest of the league. Oh, hi!
It's my daughter Alita.
Hey,
I can see your face. Tell them how old you are.
Love the family stuff.
9 years old.
9 years old.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, right there, fellas. So take this bye week and watch some worry-free football, which is always nice. Unfortunately, we don't get to hate watch the Packers, but we can do the Vikings right now. And then, I don't have faith in the Bengals to do anything to the Lions, but we can watch it. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Barroom Radio Network. Hit the notification bell to tell you when we go live because we got shows every day. I mean, we come on here every Sunday and talk, and then the Goon comes in right behind us and tells us how to set your fantasy lineup. You get Greg Gabriel here with his scouting eye. You get oh my God, I lost his name. Anyway, hit the notification bell, and Well, I was thinking of Buffon. Why? How am I not remember Buffon?
Johnny Buffon, yeah.
So my wife saw Buffon put up a picture wearing Louisville gear. She goes, "What the hell is he doing?" I said, "His uncle went to Louisville, babe. I can't help it." She said,
No cards,
"She said
dude.
we'll
No
let that one
cards.
pass." But yeah, like,
All right,
comment,
fellas.
subscribe, and do all those things. And until next week, bear down and go Cubs, go!
All right.
Yes.
Go Cubs, go.